All right. Welcome, chat. Welcome. Big Ox is on the way. I got my boy Pirate here. Trump.
Yo!
You see his hat. You know
Happy
how
Liberty Freedom Day, Independence Day, everybody.
is that what we call it? Shout out Martin Luther King, man. Always be MLK Day.
Yeah, we're calling it MAGA Liberty
That's crazy.
Kick-Ass Day.
I don't think you're
No,
gonna
but
win for that.
it would absolutely be a shame not to, on this day, address a man who has meant so much to the civil rights movement in not only America but the world. One of the most historic humanitarians ever, Donald J. Trump. Woo!
Definitely a character. He's definitely a character. I mean, you saw the inauguration. How'd you feel about it? How'd you feel about it, Pirate?
I mean, it was exciting. You know, I love the inauguration. It's one of the few times you get all the presidents together, the pomp, the pageantry, and I feel like this one here. I mean, I really think this could end up being one of the most pivotal presidential terms in history
Really?
of our lives. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just as far as a fulcrum of changing the direction of the country. Um, uh, I'm I'm stoked. It's funny, isn't it? Just like the contrast that things like this split the country down the middle, where like half the country is absolutely miserable.
Mm-hmm. Half the country is not happy.
Saying they wanted to run up to Peru, and like Darth Vader is taking over, and half the country is just I mean real happy. I'm elated. I don't know if you've seen the like the final exit polls with Biden going out and Trump coming in.
No, what were the polls?
But
Based on
those
what? Like, do they mean like where the country's trajectory is?
well, just like approval of the two guys.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, and like where the country is, where it's
I'm guessing
the past, the future.
Trump's approval is probably at like 52, and Biden's approval is around maybe 38.
Even lower.
Oh, even lower,
35. But what I was saw one poll that they've been doing where it's how would you rate the last 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
And Biden was at 25%,
Mm.
the lowest in the history of this poll. And then combine that with Americans rating the last 4 years Biden 25%, and then positivity for the next 4 years is pretty good. It was over 60%. It was like 61, 62%.
I mean, no, I definitely say I do think anytime a new president comes in, the positivity is usually above 50%. 60 doesn't seem high, but I think it's usually above 50%, just because people like I said, a change in regime always kind of brings about, okay, let's see what the next 4 years can bring, or what this new administration can do, and kind
There
of
does usually seem to be a grace period, but
yeah, exactly. Yep.
this level of incumbent versus the guy coming in. Trump's numbers aren't super high, but just the difference between how low Biden's are, the stretch is pretty big. I mean, it's similar to when Obama came in, he was real high and Bush was real low. Reagan and Carter, but I mean, hey man, there's a lot of joy and optimism for a lot of people. But I don't know, what have you seen of the inauguration? You catch anything?
Yeah, I know. I caught. I think JD Vance's wife went kind of viral because the way she looked at him. Everyone's like, "Find you a wife or a person that looks at you the way She looked at JD, so that went viral. I mean,
Yeah, I
good
did
for
see
them.
that.
I mean, his kind of life story of kind of figuring it out and getting to the vice presidency is pretty cool. Didn't know what he was going to do after high school, joined the Marines, and then obviously went on to school, become went on to law school after, did that, and then
Have you seen or read the whole hillbillies eulogy
hillbilly
elegy
eulogy,
thing?
hillbilly
Yeah, he wrote it.
eulogy? No,
He wrote a book.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he wrote
haven't
a
read
book
it.
that became like a bestseller, and then they made it into a movie. That
Oh,
was I haven't seen or read either one. So.
yeah, I didn't even know he wrote a book like that. So it's definitely something to look into. I guess we can start
Yeah,
right
and then
away.
they made it into a movie, starring some famous actress. It was supposed to be really good, and it's funny because like when that movie came out, he was kind of like a hero to the left.
Interesting.
Well, that movie was popular, and
What do
he
you think
was.
about? I know the inauguration too. Another big thing was you saw the billionaires row, the billionaire
Mhm.
row with Google CEO, Facebook CEO, Elon Musk,
I'll get in line.
Amazon CEO. That's interesting because they're it's interesting how political party. Usually the billionaire CEOs were very democratic. Now you've seen a shift of them. I don't even think they're concerned. I just think they realize who's in power, so they make a strategic decision. These guys are billionaires for a reason. They make the right business decision, partner themselves, or be on the good side to get whatever connection, contract, whatever may come their way. It's interesting to see though. Again, the left switching on and be like, oh, now it's oligarchs. This is what an oligarchy is, right? Doing that, right? That, but and then the right,
isn't that convenient?
Yeah. No, but hold on. And then the right also is, oh, these guys were terrible people. They're destroying lives, billionaires. But now suddenly the right is like, oh, it's okay. Come on.
Zuckerberg.
It's crazy how people just switch their minds about people. Just
it is true. Zuckerberg was the complete enemy of the right 4 years ago with the whole Hunter's laptop, shit on Facebook where.
We'll get to that.
Where he hid that, but you know what? Honestly, and yeah, isn't it funny how like the left is just now oligarchy? Seems like that's probably going to be the buzzword for 2025. But here's what I'm saying, man. Like, first we all know how much tremendous money was behind Kamala. What she raised like $1.5-2 billion. Like,
I'm pretty sure
the billionaires are always there.
Yeah, I think Google employees, or it's not just the CEO, like their executive, their board of directors, people who are high up. I think a lot of them donated to both candidates. I think what people have to realize is these big companies, for the most part, donate to both sides. To them, it doesn't really matter in a lot of ways who wins. It's just as long as they can, for their company, do the right thing, no matter who wins. So they're going to donate money. Look, if I had a company of $1 billion and I'm a tech company, whatever, I'm donating to both sides as a business move. I'm donating to both candidates. I'm probably playing somewhat of a middle ground. Even if I might slightly endorse them, I'll be like, I'll probably vote for this person, but I still like this person. When you're in that position, I think it's it's probably not the best business decision if you go completely one way or the other.
No, totally, I agree. And what do you think the whole switch to the oligarchy and really focusing on like Elon Musk and his supposed power behind the scenes and buying the government and everything?
Is he the puppeteer controlling?
No, hold on. Now maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't, but I think there's got to be either some naivete or deception in really fully investing in that opinion. Because like, what are we going to try to pretend that every other presidency that the same billionaires weren't still there doing the exact same thing, but just not behind the scenes? Like,
exactly. So
George Soros, anyone?
Yeah, like the Koch brothers, Joe Soros, like the right left, they both had people behind the scenes giving a
so wouldn't you rather have them out front? Like personally, I'm thinking, hey, if the money is always there and the money is always influencing politics, like Chuck Schumer, I've read so many stories about Chuck Schumer, like they ask him about some bill and he's like, I gotta I gotta go see what Soros says. You know, I gotta go see what the donors say.
This whole idea of the donor class controlling politicians, buying politicians deals. Again, my boy Bernie Sanders has been saying that for 20 years. He's been saying now, and everyone's kind of just but this, like you said, this is the first time these donors are.
It's the first time he's been so public.
Yeah, exactly. It's the first time these donors have been so public. So it definitely.
But Elon is a different kind of donor. You know, he's a different he's a different kind of billionaire.
Think what exactly different kind of billionaire. Think what Elon is. He'll take a stance that's completely against that base. We saw with the H-1B1 visas. Like a lot of the base still don't like it for that. They're still worried him with his immigration situation with that. So I'll be interested to see how that turns out. We saw Vivek already possibly leaving Doge. It seems like.
What are you talking about? I haven't really seen.
The reports saying that Vivek has had some sometimes maybe people in Doge didn't like the way he was kind of carrying.
Who's saying it though? The New York Times?
No, it was both. It was like right and left wing. It was like both.
Was it?
Yeah, it's kind of out there. They all say he's going to plan to run for governor of Ohio. If you didn't see that, so that might be the cover. But I do think it's convenient after that tweet. It might have been. Again, no one's publicly bashed him, but it might have been, hey, maybe you should go run for governor. That's an interesting thing. We'll see what happens. Again, these are just kind of reports. No official news out yet, but I've seen reports. Again, both sides kind of have.
I really don't think that tweet or anything is going to be like historic or anything. Like we were saying last time we were talking about. I think all that's. I think it's already almost pretty much swept under the rug. Bigger.
Hey, I've seen
bigger things are on the horizon.
I've seen people still talk, but we'll see.
Huge things are on the horizon.
Huge things. A lot of executive orders.
We got a whole ton of content for this show. Hopefully, Ox gets his fucking kid to bed here soon. Is able to hop in on this stuff. As far as the first day, man, fireworks. I think when you look at the magnitude of a lot of these executive orders, I mean, this is big stuff. And this is what I'm saying, man. It's a shift away from to get away from just the left-right paradigm, because I mean they're.
It's still a big left-right paradigm. I think it's still a little big.
I mean, there's left-right, but I mean within that there's a whole bunch of aspects, right? So I'm like on this first day, I'm thinking the nationalist versus globalist dynamic. America is we're taking a hard right turn to nationalism and trying to uncouple from the the new world order, as it were. The globalist establishment. Do people still say New World Order? Because that's what I grew up on. That
was the thing, New World Order, where central government taking over. That was definitely kind of the quote unquote conspiracy talking point. Maybe it's true.
Yeah. I don't think it's a conspiracy at all. I mean, I think shifting all the power to the international bodies, the UN,
I think Trump just pulled out the Paris climate accord, right? And that was one of the first executive orders. He did the whole 2 genders thing on the speech. I don't know if that was an exetive order or anything.
I don't think there was a specific.
Yeah, that was just a speech thing. I think the pardon January 6 people.
But I think that will be. I think these are probably still signing executive orders. There might be some gender.
I mean, every president comes in and signs. I want to say like hundreds of executive orders.
But I mean, a lot of times they're not that big.
Yeah, like not that big.
Biden's first ones were shutting down the Keystone pipeline, and
Trump just reversed that. There's a couple of things that Biden did where he just reversed Trump's executive order. I want to say like 20, 30 of them, and then Trump might just reverse it right back.
Well, Trump's first. No, we got a bunch of videos on the executive orders too. I think the first one we got queued up is his the very first executive order he signed was reversing 78 of Biden's executive orders.
Right. So, I think every president kind of does that when they're from the other party, right? They just kind of come in, reverse it all up.
Yeah. But as far as the pulling out of the Paris Climate Accord, that's he pulled out of the World Health Organization.
Oh, he fully pulled out of that.
Yeah, he pulled out of the World Health Organization. So I mean, these are big things to be doing on the first day. He well, yeah, you want to queue up a couple of those? We could in on the list there. Most of those are
the executive orders.
Yeah, we could kind of
Get a
talk
list.
about them as we.
What can I get a? Yeah, let me just Google a list.
Yeah.
I can quickly find a list. CBS, they probably a couple.
Oh no, I mean the links that we have in Telegram for the clips of him signing them. Yeah.
Let me see these videos. Okay, we do have some clips.
And then there's yeah, I mean, while you're pulling that up, then the whole, the immigration thing is.
Oh yeah, I guess one of the first ones. This is more of a tweet that I guess you posted too. I guess I'll bring it up here if I can. Share the screen. Share this one. This one. You see it? Trump shuts down migrant entry app, signaling the start of his crackdown.
Yeah, dude, you know about that whole app? That's been a big thing the last few years.
I didn't even know about this app situation. What does this app do?
It's where basically it's like fucking Uber Eats for crossing the U.S. border. Like it was an app they set up where pretty much everyone in South America could hop on the app, and it's like a fast track to getting into the country. Yeah, man, like within minutes, I think within like 5 minutes of him being sworn in, they shut down the El Paso port of entry.
Yeah, the immigration thing is probably the biggest. Probably the most drastic kind of. How can I say it? It'll be the one. It'll be the issue where the most action is taking place, the fastest, like right away.
The most like actual physical action
like
of human bodies moving.
Yeah, exactly. Raids going on in these cities. There's obviously a lot of talk about that going into cities. Kind of a
yeah. Well, Homan said, the new border czar guy.
Yeah. He's very serious.
Yeah, I think I would bet he's a John Wayne fan.
He got chill out a little bit. He seems a little too angry sometimes. Like, have some ice cream, bro.
I would bet if you search his video stack, he's got a lot of John Wayne in there. A lot of John Wayne, a lot of Clint Eastwood, a lot of Charles Bronson.
Not surprised.
Yeah, this guy definitely like wants to. You can tell he wants to walk into a room and just like own it. But
so, what are you most excited for? Are a lot of things that I guess being a Trump guy.
I'm most excited. Well, strategically, I'm most excited in just shrinking the federal government.
Okay.
Strategically, I'm really hoping, and I think that just 4 years from now, hopefully the federal government.
So those, you want a lot of these agencies downsized, get rid of
downsized or eliminated.
Now, what do you think about people saying you have to get rid of the FBI, CIA, DOJ type of deal? I think that's a little extreme.
Yeah, I don't think you can get rid of the FBI.
Yeah, because if you really believe in powers that control presidents, a lot of people make the case that there's people in the CIA or FBI pulling some strings.
But I mean, like Jalen, at the same time, I love the U.S. Constitution. I think
first and foremost.
Yeah, I think the U.S. Constitution is one of the greatest documents that's ever been written. In so many pages, set up a structure to really create and manage the powerhouse of the world through three centuries. A document that's proven its worth in the 1700s, the 1800s, the 1900s, and now going into the 2000s. To be so adaptable, to be such a good form of government, in my opinion, as far as delegating power. I am a huge constitutionalist, and to be fair, in the Constitution, it don't say nothing about no CIA and FBI and I
mean that's a slippery stuff. The Constitution doesn't say a lot because it was written in, when was it written again? 1776. I mean, that's
1780. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Constitution. I do think it was beautifully written. I do think that there's a lot of core principles there that are phenomenal. But this idea that something written in 1776, it not including something, or again, how the world changed, there's definitely problematic. And again, that comes to the whole weapons debate, gun ownership. How it was written then versus what we have now.
Comes to, if you think the world's better for it. I mean, some of these things you just people grow accustomed to what they grew up with and surrounded with, right? Like income tax. Income tax seems like such a natural thing to all of us. It's like, well, of course, there's income tax. Of course, the government's going to tax your income, and then it's going to redistribute the wealth and set up programs. Like, of course it is. That's just the way it is. The government's only been doing it for 100 years. It's not. It's not. The United States of America was the biggest, most powerful, richest nation on earth before there was any income tax. Like it's.
Yeah, I want to say like Dubai doesn't have income tax, right? I believe a couple of Middle Eastern countries don't have any income tax.
Yeah, I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
It's not this thing that's like absolutely needed, just because it's like modern. A lot of things that are modern aren't. They're not modern because they're technically the best thing or more advanced. They're just modern because they coincide with modernity. So anything that's around right now is modern. Modern music kind of sucks in a lot of ways, but
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. A lot of modern music is a little questionable at best.
Yeah, and the same with government, in a lot of ways. And it's okay. So what is Make America Great Again? What is this like reversal to more nationalism? What is this shrinking of the government? It's in my mind, it's really getting back to the American roots and what America was built on that was different from everything that came before. And people forgot, over the decades, people just forget what the real meaning of the people by the people really, really means, and it starts getting blended into all this stuff. And then you wake up and it's fucking 2023 and you got fucking a brain dead Joe Biden as your president, being led by his own oligarchs who never come on the news or say anything. But Joe Biden hasn't been running the government the last 4 years. And you got America tied into the business of all these other countries in the world and all these other organizations.
Well, if you say Joe Biden was running the country the last 4 years, then I gotta say Trump's not gonna run the country the next 4 years.
He's going to be running a whole hell of a lot more than Biden. Did you see? We got that one video of him.
Him or Elon Musk? I mean, Elon Musk.
Are you kidding me? Dude, Elon Musk isn't running shit.
You can't have it both. You can't say Biden's not running it because of people controlling him, and then not say
I can, because Biden's not. Dude, I don't think Biden can go to the bathroom by himself.
Nah, I mean, his old
Dude.
his old slowing down. He'll definitely.
Do you think Joe Biden could
down.
pass a cognitive test in the last few years?
Yeah, I still think he could have passed the cognitive. Yes, I mean, what level? What level? I mean, I don't think Trump could pass a 25-year-old cognitive test too.
Oh man, yeah, you can, dude. The difference is fucking night and day. Come on, man. Like, look at
Trump's not some spring chicken. You guys gotta relax. He's not.
He's not, which kind of shows the juxtaposition of where Trump is at his age compared to Biden, where he is at his age. I mean,
I don't think Trump necessarily has more energy necessarily than Biden. I think his base and his voters have a lot more energy. You say that, but Trump is still.
You don't think he has more energy than Biden?
No, look, I say he
Biden
does.
can barely walk.
He definitely has more energy, but it's not some huge. It's not like he's like super energetic. He's still. You can still tell Trump is literally still old. He's very stern. Like he's not. Like to me, Biden is slow. Like he was very slow. Trump's like slow. And he's close to 80. Like how old?
Sure, he is kind of physically, but he's not going for fucking defensive player of the year. I mean, you're an executive. Like usually, energy shouldn't be too much of a factor. Once, I mean, dude, once you start getting to the point where, like the physical energy of a president is really a thing. Then that's a real problem, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be a thing. It's Biden, forgetting some things in his speeches. But I've seen Trump do that too.
But have you seen Trump just like pass out at a fucking meeting of world leaders?
No, he definitely didn't take a nap in the middle of a meeting. I mean, that was kind of a meme. That's kind of a meme though too.
Or it's not a meme. Dude is so out of it. Biden can't even get off stage. Every time he's given some speech, it like takes him 8 seconds to figure out exactly what direction to walk in.
It did take him some. Trump's not walking that fast either, but it took Biden a lot more time to read the prompter. I'll definitely say that. Definitely took him a lot more time. Slow with reading.
Dude, Trump. I mean, yeah, he's not going to be winning any 100 meters anytime soon. But he's physically capable, and he's mentally capable to sit there. And he during when he was signing the executive orders, he's sitting there having a conversation with the press. Which, oh my God, you forgot presidents are supposed to fucking do that. Stand there and actually answer reporters' questions, and he's being super blunt. And they asked him. One guy asked him, "Hey, what's up with those drones in New Jersey?" And just off the cuff, he's like, "Yeah, what is up with those drones in New Jersey?" He's like, "I'm gonna find the answer to that real quick." And he's like, "Hey, Susie, why don't go find out what was up with those drones in New Jersey?" He's still able to not form a concise thought from beginning to end and have a little bit of wit and humor. Sit down with Joe Rogan for 3 hours, man. Dude, what would Joe Biden with 3 hours of?
I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you that. It'll be interesting to see if Biden would go on Rogan now.
That would be.
He's not constrained by the presidency in some ways. And see, it's just me, or you've kind of seen a shift in Biden since Trump won. It does seem like maybe it looked like suddenly he's a little bit more upbeat, a little bit.
Oh yeah, I think deep down he's relieved that
it's something. So it would be interesting to see if we got a real honest interview with Biden. Because
imagine a 3-hour interview with Joe Biden.
But
honestly, imagine.
What
would be the over-under of him just passing out somewhere in those 3 hours?
But hey, every now and then the old guy gets a whiff of life, spurt every random day. And people forget though, like young Joe Biden, people think Trump's blunt. Young Joe Biden was just people don't really realize, the Biden that was running in 2000, in the 90s, like he was very Trump-esque in some ways with the bluntness.
I mean, totally different politics, but as far as bombastic and just blowhard and
exactly. Yeah,
egotistical.
I think young Joe Biden shared a lot more similarities and commonality with Trump over Kamala Harris, without a doubt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There were
I mean,
well,
Kamala is just an empty suit.
yeah. I mean, at this point, she's yeah. I mean, you know, she'll probably run for governor or something of some state.
Oh man, if Californians, I'm leaving the state if we don't get our heads out of our asses after fucking Gavin Newsom. Like honestly,
if I see a Republican, the other thing, if you ever see a Democrat as a Texas governor or a Republican as a California governor, what the other side's just going to have to really look at themselves. If the Republicans ever lose Texas, or if the Democrats ever lose California, it is trouble.
Well, we had Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, but he was
Schwarzenegger. He wasn't like a real Republican, but he was. You know, he technically he was a Republican.
That's true. That's true. But he was. That almost seems like a whole different lifetime ago. The Schwarzenegger, California.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, right. It's just a whole different.
I can't believe that Gavin Newsom actually became governor, dude. Because you know, like I'm in the Bay Area, so he was the mayor of San Francisco, and I can't believe he got past being the mayor of San Francisco to be the governor. It's insane.
I mean, this is the same way. I think us in the left feel. How does Ted Cruz have a job? How does Marjorie Taylor Greene have a job? How does these kind of? I mean, in Canada, we make fun all the time.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'll give you, but I mean, I'll say Marjorie Taylor Greene just because she's in Congress, and any fucking wackadoodle can get into Congress, dude. It's like you know, you're representing a local constituency, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'll give you. Ted Cruz, you don't like Ted Cruz?
Oh, we make fun of Ted Cruz in Canada all the time. The only reason he went to the States because he knew if he ran in Canada, he'd be laughed off the world. Like he'd be laughed off TV.
Wait, what are you talking? Was he born in Canada?
He's Canadian. Ted Cruz is Canadian. Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah, Ted Cruz.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's Canadian.
How long has he been in America?
It's one of the dual. It was born medical. Yeah, Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and then his mother was born in Delaware there, so I think he has like a dual citizenship. But he was born in Canada. Yeah, he was born in Canada, Calgary.
Where did he grow up?
I want to say, when did he move to this? I want to see. It's like sure, I went to in Houston. Okay, so Cruz began going by Ted at age 13. I want to say. When did he move? He was born here. Raised in. Okay, his father was born and raised in Cuba. That is interesting too. I did not know that.
I knew that. Yeah, I knew that.
He left became in 2005. At the time of his birth, Ted Cruz's parents had lived in Calgary for 3 years and were working in the oil business and owners of Samuel K. Cruz said that he's the son of two mathematicians. Okay. In 1974, Cruz's father left the family, moved to Texas. Later that year, Cruz's parents reconciled and relocated to Houston in 74. So if he was born
74 was a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay, no. So he basically grew up in the States. He was born in Canada in 1970. So he left when he was 4. So he didn't even go to school here.
Yeah, that's American enough.
Yeah. Yeah, he was technically born in Canada. So wait, I mean, yeah. How did he run for president? I thought even if your parents were, if he was born,
how did he run for president? Well, yeah, that's what I'm.
I think because his mom was born in America.
No, but you have to be born in America,
right?
Or well, no, you can be an American citizen. You have to be born an American citizen.
You have to be natural born, yeah. But let's Google that. How
you have to be born an American citizen.
Run for president if born in Canada. This is actually kind of interesting. I remember reading it before. There's some rule that says because his mother was born in the United States.
If your dad's like in the army and he's in the Philippines, yeah, and then you're born, you could be president.
Okay, so let's see. The thing is,
if both his parents are citizens, then
I mean, so he's
in America.
I think The U.S. Constitution says presidential candidates have to be a natural-born citizen, but the Supreme Court never weighed in on the definition, leaving open to interpretation. So this question came up. So Cruz's parents worked in the oil industry in Calgary when he was born. His mother was born in the United States. His father.
Yeah. So no, then you're a U.S. citizen. If both of your parents are U.S. citizens, it doesn't matter where you're born.
Okay, I mean that is interesting. When he was born, though, his dad was not a citizen.
His dad was not a citizen.
No, when he was born, no, because his dad became a citizen in 2000 and something, I believe.
Well, good thing nobody was voting for Ted Cruz to be president.
Yeah. Oh no, wait. In 1973, became. Oh wait, he became naturalized U.S. in 2005. That's Cruz. Cruz became a naturalized citizen in 2005, I believe. No, he attended. Yeah, Rafael Cruz's father. Yeah, he became a citizen in 2005. That is interesting. Yeah, I mean, that'll be interesting to see if he ever runs again, if that narrative will be brought up. But I do want to talk about. You saw the video I posted in the chat floor. There, the good side and the bad side of the mega.
Oh, yeah, bring up that. All right, bring up the kid.
Right, this is crazy. When I saw this, I was like, whoa.
It ain't that crazy. It's a big country.
It is pretty crazy to me, the level of hatred in a child. A kid.
He's a kid.
We gonna play this video and see, man. We gonna play this video and see. Let me just pop this up.
Look! Chat and viewers. Jalen is full in the lefty hate bucket. All they're gonna have for the next 4 years.
I'm gonna have actual factual videos. You know, I'm here having conversations.
No, it's a good conversation.
Let's see, share this. To me, this is pretty wild. Big screen it up. Let's go.
What are you excited about for having Donald Trump as president?
I'm excited that he will finally give us a closed border once again.
What's your message to all the illegal immigrants?
Get the hell out of our country, you disgusting pieces of shit.
Hey, don't talk like that.
Would you ever be friends with an illegal immigrant?
Never.
Never. Would you be friends with a liberal?
No.
What are you excited about for having Donald Trump as the president?
Now let's be real here. That kid deserves to get punched in the face. I don't even care if you're a kid. That kid deserves to get punched in the face. That level of, to me, that's one of the biggest problems for America right now. You see the hatred.
Oh, come on.
Oh, time out.
I'll get over it. That's one of the biggest problems of America.
That is your future. That is the mega base.
That's our future.
That's your
future.
Kid. Clearly, that's the future. That's clearly your future.
The little 11, 12-year-old kid dressed up like Trump. Now, I will say, first off, I can't tell if that was like fully authentic or not. Let's just go ahead and assume that it's completely authentic. That's this kid who's dressed up like Trump and super.
It's okay.
Super on the immigrant. I will say the same thing. I would pretty much say for most any young person I see acting like a dipshit in any way, where it looks like something that their parents would be aware of. Because he's dressed up like Trump. He's obviously he's like into politics for however much a 12-year-old kid can be. I will say his parents.
If my child ever spoke like that, yeah, I'm slapping him. If my child ever spoke like that,
no. I will say that like if that was that kid's authentic opinions, then that at this point that should be blatantly clear to his parents. And so in that aspect, I don't think his parents are doing a great job in not smartening him up. So
I'm cool with him saying if all he had to say was, hey, the immigration thing, yeah, we need a closed border. I think that'd be great. But to say, get the hell out, you disgusting.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't tell if he was like cajoled before that filming. Like,
I see a lot of hatred.
Lay it on. Like,
see it in his eyes. There's a lot of hatred in that kid. And I had to say, I would never be friends Well, what do you mean? Did you tell me an illegal immigrant can't
I
be
don't know if
against
you
the
could see it. Dude, I don't know if you say you when look, dude, here's most
shit?
people
Why
are
would I
like
never be a friend? Well, like, what does
most
that
people are
mean?
deeply imperfect as adults, and as children, they are like crazy imperfect. Like as a child, dude. If you want me to judge that 12-year-old kid super harshly, then I would have to extend the exact same amount of judgment to some 12-year-old in urban Chicago who, for whatever reason, you put a microphone in front of his face and you start asking him some shit about other people, and some crazy shit comes out of his mouth. And I'll say the same thing. I'll say the same. Yeah, no, and I'll say the same thing. At that point, at that age, a huge part of your personality is a reflection of like your parents, teachers, whatever authority you have in your life, whatever lack of authority you have in your life, whatever lack of guidance and rationality,
He knew what he was saying, Pirate. Like, he knew it. Like, it wasn't.
No, I know.
Like, he said it with conviction. And again, to me, just saying, hey, we want a closed border, make sure our people are safe. Like, that's fine. But it was that you could sense the extra level of hatred in that.
So when you're 12, you're not gonna have a super nuanced opinion on something like that. So obviously, that's what I'm saying.
Most 12-year-olds don't talk like that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Jalen. Most 12-year-olds are not talking like that. So that's why I do not think that is the future of America, and that's like our North Star.
If I'm the left, I'm saving
look,
that video.
Jalen, he was a 12-year-old dressed up exactly like Trump. He's got a red tie, a suit. So something's going on because he's like cosplaying as Trump. I don't know.
If I'm the left, I'm clipping that video and posting it all.
Well, of course you are, because the left is going to be clipping everything. Left's just fucking crying, boo-hooing for the next 4 years. That's fine.
Politics.
It is like go ahead and
clip 2 years
and boo-hoo. But while the
lose the Senate,
while the left is boo-hooing over some random 12-year-old dressed like Trump, I'll tell you what, man. Yeah, you were saying before, like left and right both kind of point at and laugh at the some of the goofballs on either side. But I gotta say, man, the Democratic Party is showing severe breakdowns right now, in my opinion. Severe lack of leadership, lack of direction. If you watched any of the confirmation hearings, I don't know if you saw any of those, but just the lack of strategy in the Democratic senators and their questioning, just you could tell it was totally.
The confirmation hearings to me are always a waste of time. To me, there's repercussions towards elections, and the right and left always hate the other person's pick. To me, you just pass them through. I could hate you.
They do.
Pass them through.
Sometimes, yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying, like, usually, if I feel like usually there's a more coordinated effort than what I'm seeing out of the Democrats in these confirmation hearings, if you know what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to the Democrats, they just kind of seem to be throwing out random like I'm gonna bring up this, I'm gonna bring up that. Nothing sticks because you can just kind of tell. I feel like I could tell. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I could tell that it's just not a very coordinated effort. Who is the leader of the Democratic Party in 2025?
Oh yeah, no, the Democrats are lost right now.
Who is
it? There's no leader. There's no.
Again, I watch a ton of left media. I watch more left media than I watch right media.
I probably watch more right than left too. Just I like to see other sides. Yeah,
and I think that's a good pattern. Yeah. But what I'm seeing in the left media and the opinions are that most Democrats, they don't know exactly where they are right now. They don't know exactly where they're going. Are they going to go super left? People seem to be talking about AOC a lot more than AOC. AOC is a third-term congressman from the Bronx.
She's a populist. No way, she's a populist.
From yeah, she's a third-term congressman from the Bronx. Like you would, like who are the senators? Who are the governors? Who are the people who actually would normally be, the leaders of a party?
John Kerry's of the world, the Joe Bidens, where are they at?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, AOC is a few years separated from being a bartender in the Bronx. She's a congressman. She got voted in, by
but hold on, but Trump's a few years
lefty
from being just a businessman, a TV show personality.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think if we're gonna compare Trump's pre-government career to AOC's pre-government career, I mean,
look, as someone who's worked in the world of finance, Trump's had some good and a lot of bad in business wise. His business stories is one.
But he's been a
public eye
cultural figure for decades.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I mean, Obama came in right away. Basically, one speech made him the president.
Obama came in quick, but again, he was a senator. He was a senator, dude. I'm just saying. Name the last congressman to become president.
I couldn't even tell you.
There haven't been. You don't just jump from Congress to president.
I can't think of any Democratic senators who, again, against let's say against a JD Vance, against Vivek, or actually, I think Vivek has
no.
Base.
I mean, they're in the House. They got Nancy Pelosi's too old. She's out.
She gotta go. No, Pelosi, Schumer, they gotta go.
Yeah,
they gotta go. That generation class.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And what's behind them in Congress? You got Hakeem Jeffries. I don't know if you seen any of him, but Cory Booker.
I mean, but these are all the same with the Republicans too. Like the Republicans are so in on Trump. After he's gone, I mean, you could say JD Vance, sure, but it's not. I mean, we haven't seen JD Vance without Trump. You know what I mean? Like it's different because right now everyone can still ride the Trump wave. It's going to be a lot different when he's out.
But it's I feel like it's a lot like. But look, it's a lot like coaching trees in sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like usually sports are going to be dominated by coaching trees, where from the head, spring.
This is true, but I think every now
and then Democrats don't have a head.
To me, there's certain candidates who they could have a coaching, or they could have a successor. Like I know Obama, Trump, Reagan, right? I think who was Reagan's VP?
George Bush Sr.
George Bush Sr. And he ended up being president. Okay, so Obama's pick eventually became it, but I think he became president in a very special circumstance. I don't know if that will kind of happen again. Who did George Bush Sr. run against? I do think it's hard.
He ran against Bill Clinton and Ross Perot, and so the vote was split. So that was.
Okay,
if the vote hadn't been split, he probably would have won again. Because again, George Bush Sr. was pretty popular on that exit poll I was telling you about, where Biden's at 25%. George Bush Sr. was at 53% when he left.
I do think Bill was just a very strong candidate too at that time. He was a very good politician too. So I mean,
he was no. He was, but I think he would have lost if Ross Perot hadn't been in the race. Perot got like 20% of the vote.
A third party candidate got 20%.
It was no small thing. He got like 20%.
What did he do so special to get that 20%? Or did Bill and Bush just mess up somewhere too?
He just spent a lot of money, and he was like the outsider. He was the anti-establishment reform. He wanted to come in
and what year was this?
Billionaire. That was both year. Ross Perot was in the 92 election and 96. He did better in 92. In 92, he got like 20%, maybe even more. In 96, he still did well. In 96, I think he got like 15%.
Could you imagine a third party candidate getting 20% today?
Today?
It's kind of wild. The machine is different today.
Yes.
The machine is different.
Yes, I can the way that the Democratic Party is going. Because I've actually been seeing on a lot of these shows like Pod Save America and The Bulwark. I don't know if you check out any of those.
Mhm.
Some of the people, those are like all Democrat podcasts, where it's like a round table and everyone's a Democrat. A lot of people are, because there's this split in the Democratic Party that right now it's not in the Republican Party is more solid right now than the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is really fractured. I mean, and again, I keep saying it.
I
It's
think Democratic
because
Party is fractured, but I think the Republican Party isn't as strong as.
it's strong enough to get the majority.
I think Trump is
people,
such an anomaly.
I think I'm kind of a perfect representative. Like I'm a person. I've always been on the right, but I lean more libertarianish. And in the beginning of the whole Trump era, I had a lot more questions about Trump in the beginning than I do now, and I think that's actually pretty reflective of the nation. It seems like a lot of people are kind of like me, where it's like
the past 10 years, the Republican Party has been living off of Trump only. The Trump name does not allow for other Republicans to come up. It's Trump.
I think it's a combination of things. I mean, there's obviously the huge Trump effect. Like, he's a catalyst. But there's this whole the culture, how the culture war is intersected with the social media and everything, and how, again, a lot of people think that the left just got pretty crazy there. Like the whole idea of Trump having to come out and say that in America there are two genders. Like
that battle
10, 15 years ago that would have been like no shit.
Yeah, to me, if Democrats are smart, they're not gonna. That just won't be an issue that's talked about. They'll be like, we support transgender.
But that's the fracture. But that's the fracture right there. They have a huge wing that are the super lefties. There's. I mean, add up the constituency. Like, I'm all right. How many? Let's just call it 50-50, the right and left of America, right? So among the 50% of America that's on the left, what percentage of those people do you think are like pretty fundamental, hardcore, like socialist types? Where like, do you prefer socialism versus a free market? Like, yes, absolutely.
I mean, I think that's different from I think the social war.
No, that's just one thing. I mean, I'm just tossing it in. Then how many are like really big on the transgender thing? Where like that's like
I think that's so
like
small.
Make it or break it. Not who are transgender, but who are
who are very pro that. Look, we even seen AOC take that out of her bio. I think the right did a phenomenal job of making that a much bigger issue of what it was, and the Democrats played their hand into it and kind of made it bigger than it was. But now when you have AOC, who's considered left, taking out of her bio, I don't even think she's going to talk about it like that. It won't be a big talking point in elections. So I don't think that's such a strong kind of.
But I'm saying all these things, these far lefty things add up. How many people on the left are like really big into the whole green thing, Green New Deal, green energy, climate crisis?
I'm on the left and I'm not on any of those things. But you know what I mean? So it's like
right. No, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's where the fracture is, because granted, there are a ton of people on the left in America who are like more old school, like Bill Clinton type Democrats. Back in the 90s, I was closer to being a Democrat. There's still a lot of people in America who are like that, but that's what I'm saying. Like in the Democratic Party, there's that, the neoliberal Clintonian, Obama was kind of inherited the Clintonian ways.
He was a candidate that got both. He got like the Clinton vote and the Bernie Sanders vote. You know what I mean?
there was not as much of the Bernie Sanders vote back then. That's what I'm saying. The 90s were different. The 90s,
yeah, I'm saying like
the
2012.
90s, there weren't a bunch of fucking self-proclaimed communists and like transgender wolfkins running around.
Yeah, I'm talking about like in 2012. I think he got like the Bernie vote, that when like the progressives got louder and louder. He kind of got their
That's when
vote,
it started.
and he still got the Clinton vote. For the
But
most
he
part,
maybe sowed the seeds for division. I think the 8 years of Obama really kind of accelerated the whole identity politics thing that the Democratic Party and the left took and kind of ran with and ran a little too far. Ran a little too far to like actually be winning elections.
Yeah, they ran too far to be winning. I mean, I definitely agree with that. I just think with the left, it's you're still gonna have the mega base, the mega voters, and there's some people on the left who, I just don't know how that mega is gonna resonate once Trump's gone.
What is?
I see
mega base.
That kid, to me, that kid represents the mega base. You know, Hillary Clinton gets so much flack for saying the whole 50% back. I think that was spot on. I genuinely think 50% are like that, just like pure.
Are deplorable?
Yes, I do. Yes, 100%.
All right, what percentage of the left are deplorables?
Deplorable. That's a lot of them too. Probably about like not as high as 50, but I think more than 35. Probably like 37. I'll say 37% left. Goddamn deplorable. 50%.
That's just because you lean left. That's just because you lean left. I'd probably take the numbers and switch it.
Lefts don't be hating like that. I mean, no, they kind of do.
Dude, lefts behave fucking horrible. Are you kidding?
Okay, hold on. There's a difference between the hate that's like someone like Sonny Hostin would have.
Yeah, there is. The left hate is more condescending. That's the only difference. It's the exact same hate, but it's just like condescending.
That's true. The left.
At least most of the hate you find on the right is like straightforward.
I'll give you that. You know, I know what I said though. Yeah. I can almost respect a racist that's openly a racist, or just be like, I hate you. Like there's people who will be like, I just don't want. I wish America was just all white. I'm like, in some ways, all right, I think you're an idiot, yeah. But I kind of respect them. Okay, at least you're honest. At least you're not hiding it like a bunch of other people.
But Jalen, here's the difference. Now, like that actual hatred that exists in some people on the left and the right, you can talk all you want about like white supremacy and all that shit, but like actual white supremacy on the right gets shut down. People on the right have no problem with saying no. Of course, they're not in the KKK. Of course, we're not. Of course, we're not white supremacists and like separation of people. But on the left, tell me this: well, what's the difference on the left when you got fucking college kids setting up safe spaces that white people can't enter?
Oh, they're idiots.
So you got a whole fucking room set up with a pool table and fucking huh?
They're deplorables. I think those
they are deplorable.
I completely agree. I think they're deplorables.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like on the right, in our situation, is like Trump can call our people deplorables, like openly. On the left, I feel like the Democratic politicians, they got a tippy toe around the kids who are setting up safe spaces the white people can't go to. They have to tippy toe around their hatred, because their hatred is more fucking hidden and condescending and built on this neo.
Again, the word condescending definitely is that.
Because it's all based, like, people's minds work off the words that run through their minds, right? And the right, I feel like, is just more simple in its philosophy. Like when you say like racism, people on the right say,
a lot on the right who hate JD Vance because he's married to a Hindu.
Sure, and I'm not even saying like who actually hates people. I'm just saying, if you ask people on the right, what does the word racism mean? They'll say, well, racism is prejudice based on race. Period. You know, it's like
left has a weird
let's
answer.
move on.
Be like the
Now,
social
yeah.
economy thing. Yeah, I don't agree
Yeah.
with that either.
Now,
Affordable-
the left starts setting up a definition of racism that's like 2 paragraphs long.
yeah, that's
And so,
power. That has to be a power dynamic. I'm like, shut up.
yeah, P plus P equals R, and all.
Yeah.
You know, they got whole fucking equations to tell you what the word racism is, and so within those equations, there's all kinds of room to be like a really shitty person. You know, but then you start rationalizing it because, oh well, I can't be racist. What are you talking about?
I hear you.
My father is from Sudan. I can't be racist. Like, oh, what are you talking about?
I hear you. There's some hateful people on the left too, without a doubt, who just judge people based on, like you said, the color of their skin, especially white people, without their content, the character, which is the definition of racism, just hating someone because or judging someone, you know, because of skin, without a doubt. You know,
and their whole definition, they worked it around to the whole colorblind is now a bad thing in their eyes, and it's like colorblind is bad and meritocracy is bad.
To all my friends,
being on time is a white person thing. It's like
to all my friends on the left, all my friends on the left, stop with the safe spaces thing. It's stop, just stop. Don't ever use that term again. Don't ever create a safe space. Screw your safe space. Stop it. Unless it's like, you know, you've been abused or something, you need a safe space. That's cool, but based on this racial stuff, stop it. All right, stop.
Yeah, that's why I think the left has a lot of fractures, because they're tied to a lot of these ideas that are kind of like, they're kind of getting old now, because they're kind of like these ideas that popped up in the last 10 or 15 years, and then there was a debate about it, and they kind of lost on a few. Like but we went 250 years without fucking really talking about transgender people. And then all of a sudden
that became like such a talk out of the blue. I'm like, it's like 0.1% of the population. And again, I thought it was brilliant by the right, and you know, but politically making that a big issue. The whole thing in sports thing, everybody understands.
We didn't bring it up.
Yeah, I don't know, but really politicizing it and bring it to the forefront. You know, and really kind of putting it in the Democrats' face. On top of that.
It was the left. I'm telling you, man, because it's part of the coalition building, the post-Obama identity politics.
I promise you, it will not be part of the Democrats' political game plan in the next election. 100% will not.
Won't be, only because they found out that it was losing, but that's what it started out as.
Sure, they thought it might be a winning issue. Clearly not. Clearly not. Right. It's that I do want to address Babaji cuts. You probably noticed too. Trudeau stepping down. You hear about that?
Yeah. No, yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. We should definitely talk. I watched a lot. I probably watched more Canadian news than I have in the last year and within the last.
This changes a lot. So basically, our prime minister resigned. If everyone in the chat, the Conservatives were on their way to a bloodbath win. They were gonna win by like a crazy. That's what we're going to get to here. Crazy super majority. They're going to win. Everyone hated on Trudeau, the Liberals, for destroying the economy, immigration, this and that. Pierre did a phenomenal job of attacking it, and they were on their way to winning the election very easily. Then
I like that Pierre guy. The more I see of him,
Pierre's interesting. We'll talk about it. So then Democrats come. Who's going to be their next leader? Right? You had some people brought up Christine Freeland. She worked under Trudeau. If anybody worked under Trudeau like that, it's going to be a bad loss. To me, I was thinking this was political suicide for whoever came in. I thought there's no chance of the Liberals winning. Then we get Mark Carney. Mark Carney, Harvard-educated, world-renowned economist who, under the conservative Stephen Harper government, was the governor general. Was the governor of the Bank of Canada. Canada at 2000, and I don't know if you know this, Pirate. So when 2008 economic crisis happened, Canada was one of the best countries in the world of dealing with it.
Did you handle it well?
Yeah, we actually had a Super Bowl. Like, we had world leaders coming in, ask us how you doing this. Like, it was super. Like, Stephen Harper and Mark Carney got all the credit. Everyone praises, and he was so good that
you know who else came out well?
Who else?
Ireland.
All right, shout out Ireland.
So, Ireland, yeah, we did. We got fire.
And then you have Mark Carney. He was so good. London, England. They asked him to go to London and become their governor general of their bank. He goes to
Okay.
London, becomes their guy, right? So
17 years ago.
yeah, how many years ago? Whatever years ago now. Then he came here.
You said 2008.
Yeah, I think that was he was in Canada. Then he left to London in 2012. Was it when did he leave? 2012ish, I want to say. Could be a date, but something
13 years ago.
Yeah. And then came back, and then he was running. And then he sat on the. And now he was running some of the biggest private equity firms in the world, Brookfield Asset Management. I have a couple of friends who work there. He was their guy until recently stepped down. So here's again a Harvard-educated, world-renowned economist coming into a country that needs the economy fixed as number one. Versus,
Yeah, but he's a liberal, so he's not going to fix it.
So this is the thing. This is the thing. So okay, check this out here. We have a country that needs the economy fixed, world-renowned economists versus the career politician whose last job, real-world job, was working at TELUS as a collections agent. No hate. I'm just saying, Harvard-educated world economist, Harvard-educated world-renowned economist versus Pierre, who a lot of his talk points were, I hate Trudeau, carbon tax. Trudeau's bad carbon tax. And that worked when Trudeau's up there. And Trudeau, he wasn't doing like his charm and the way he spoke wasn't working anymore.
Dude, I've got to say, Trudeau, ever since Trudeau came in, I hate fucking Trudeau.
Oh, you hate it from the start. Okay. Well, people like this.
He's so fake. Is he not the fakest politician you've ever? Yeah, oh my God.
He was young, charismatic. He had it going. But hey, Pirate, I want you to go watch Mark Carney's interview. Mark Carney?
What?
Go watch his interview. Incredibly intelligent, well-spoken, not the fake stuff, like actually incredibly knowledgeable. Like he's like, the Jordan Peterson types. Jordan Peterson. We're talking that level of like kind of intellect. I don't think as much because Jordan Peterson people in philosophy speak a little different. But we're talking Mark Carney, very common sense guy, right? A lot of his principle. Again, he worked for Stephen Harper.
So what, he's like a centrist. He's like a centrist.
He's not a lefty. Yeah, he's more. If he was the governor of the Bank of Canada during a conservative administration, and conservatives were all praising him for the way he handled it, what type of guy? You know what I mean? So he's not a leftist by any means. I'll say this: go read about Mark Carney. I think you might be more of a fan of him than Pierre.
Okay, wait. So his only experience in government so far is head of the Bank of Canada. You said so. He's not.
I think he was.
That's like an apolitical position, right? So was he technically like a liberal when he was doing that, or was he just a guy who was appointed?
No, he was appointed by. Let me hold on.
I know he was appointed by Harper.
But yeah, governor in
the conservative, but
he left the position. Yep, Department of Finance to serve. Wait, he
was technically part of the Liberal Party then?
I don't think he was a part of any party at that time. He was part of the Department of Finance in Canada. He served under two finance minister, Ralph Gaudet, a liberal, and Jim Flaherty, a conservative. During his time, oversaw the government had a controversial plan to tax income trust source. Bank Canada 2008. I think I want to say he was appointed by Harper. Financial crisis. He did well. And after he chaired as chairman of Bank of International Settlements, Committee of Global Financial Systems up until 2010 to 12.
A guy in chat saying Mark Carney ruined England's economy. What was he doing in England? You said what?
In Governor Bank, he was the governor of the Bank of England from 2013 to 2020.
So he went. See, and that's you fucking. I'm sorry. You fucking Canadians are still in this Commonwealth fucking shit. You still got the Queen of England on here.
I mean, we don't really show love. I mean, I guess technically, yeah, but what do they really do? I'm just saying,
well, apparently your guy, your Canadian Bank of Canada guy goes off to the fucking Bank of England.
He's helping the world, baby. Look, I'm saying. If
we don't do that shit in America, man.
If the economy is the number one issue, which
like
for a lot of
the head of the Fed isn't going to go off and start running French finance.
I hear it, but Pyre, you got to hear this out though. If the number one issue in the country, which is the economy,
yeah,
and your two choices.
Well, you guys are pissed off about immigration too, out there.
Immigration too, but a lot of that's because of what immigration has done to the economy. You see what I'm saying? So economy kind of impact.
Yeah, and I mean they're tied. Yeah.
I think Carney doesn't believe in mass immigration. He thought it was a problem too what Trudeau did. So he's kind of on that thing too. He thinks there needs to be mass deportations in a sense too. So again,
what's the culture war like up in Canada there?
I mean, the culture war.
I talked to a lot of crazy leftist fucking Canadians, man.
I mean, I don't know if the culture war is too big because everyone at one point everyone kind of it seemed like everybody. I thought Trudeau got too much hate personally too because sometimes I think people just blame their own shortcomings on the government.
He was so PC. He was like so incredibly.
Yeah, sometimes he was too like. I think there's one time he says use the term people person or something.
People kind.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, some girl asked him about the history of mankind, and he's like, "We say people kind."
Yeah,
dude. And then one interview I saw him. You know, the whole when I was a kid, we just called it fucking gay. You know, everything was gay. All this shit was gay, and then it was LGBT. Once I saw Trudeau rattle off the longest list of letters I have ever heard. I was sitting there like for 10 seconds. He's like the LGBTAIATQRL plus community. What the fuck?
I mean, I think Mark Carney did a short interview actually with Jon Stewart, American television. That kind of went viral for a little bit here
recently. What? So what? He's running for. Is he an MP right now?
No, he's actually not. No, he's running for the leadership of the Liberal Party. He's actually not an MP right now, but he's running in.
He's not an MP, but he's running for the leadership of the Liberal Party.
Yeah. He's exactly. He has to win a seat to eventually be able to run for prime minister for sure.
But aren't they? No, but aren't they? The Liberals are doing their vote for leadership before the election, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yes. I don't
know.
So
he's running for that.
He's running for the leadership of the Liberal Party. Yes.
When he's not in,
I think there's a special rule. It could be a law rule when the prime minister resigns, somebody can come.
Anybody can do it.
Yeah, in the interim places, anybody can kind of come in the leadership as long as you have like certain amount of votes within. Obviously, you need to have the votes of the Liberal Party. Those are people who are elected Liberal Party.
People who are registered Liberal.
Yeah, people
right.
Registered Liberal. Yeah, but also though people who are also the MPs. I think you have to have a certain amount of support within them. If you're not,
who's going to decide the head of? Is it going to be registered liberals, or is it going to be liberal politicians who decide who the next?
It's just liberal, the liberal politicians. So it's the MPs. They vote.
So there's not going to be an election.
No, there's never an election for the leader of the Liberal Party. That's always done by the MPs.
Okay, so he's just fucking tossing his hat in the ring for like, hey, MPs.
He's got everyone. He's got everyone's vote because they understand politics.
I don't know. They might, or they might be desperate.
Ron, pull up. But I mean, look, I'm telling you, go watch.
Right, get Ron in here. Drop the link in.
We'll drop the link.
Don't pussy out, Ron. I think Ron pussied out on election night. I saw him in chat for a minute.
Yeah, Ron, I'm talking about what you think of Trump, man. But I'll tell you, this is a big game changer in a lot of ways. It's not going to be the sweep because you haven't listed Carney yet. I'm telling you, once you list the Carney,
you sound optimistic, man. You sound a little desperate.
I'm telling you, Pirate. Yeah, Pirate. No,
you might be right because I mean, Canadian politics is absolutely ridiculous. But
I just think Pierre looks so good because of the shortcomings of Trudeau and what and the hatred he had.
I think that's
and when you even put him next to somebody somewhat competent, and to me he's overly competent. Like, speaks well, good head on the shoulder. Like he says everything right. He just says everything right. Incredibly intelligent, understands the economy. I just
Jalen, you gotta say fuck America for
man. I got love for my Americans. I got love for my Americans.
Just say it. I'll say it.
Just
hey, Ron, what if I say fuck Canada?
Fuck America, Ron. Hey, fuck your Indiana Pacers too, Ron.
Fuck the Pacers. Yeah. I don't know if I got the heart to like really.
This is I haven't seen a curveball like this in politics in a long time where I just thought again conservatives going to win a sweep, and I've seen so many conservatives say, "Oh damn, I'm switching my vote to Carney."
Now, aren't they? Dude, the Liberal Party is like in the 20s. Last I saw.
Yeah, that was what I'm telling you. There are so many conservative voters who are literally
because this one guy just comes out of fucking nowhere.
You gotta understand though, people remember fondly the Harper economy. Like the Harper economy
is ridiculous. That's honestly, I feel like Canadians don't understand their own government for the most part.
But it's like this too. Imagine if somebody comes in. When I say the Ronald Reagan economy, what do you think about?
Ronald Reagan?
What do you think about Reagan economy?
I think about Reaganomics mostly. I feel deregulation, low taxes.
If a candidate comes in and kind of really reminds you of Reagan economics and that time period, and the country's down, you're like, damn. And you you had the worst Republican candidate. Oh, this guy's a real deal. Let's go back to who's a bad Republican candidate you had that you just really don't like.
Bob Dole wasn't great.
Okay, let's say Bob.
I didn't like Mitt Romney.
Let's say Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney's there, right? He's doing his thing, talking to the people, and then let's say he's has to resign because party's like, okay, you're not going to beat Obama here. It's rough. And then Ronald Reagan comes in. How you feel? And let's say the country was so bad, you're like, I can't vote conservative, whatever.
But it's different. It's different though because Ronald Reagan was the heir apparent for like a decade before he became president. Like he was already the man to be crowned ever since like 68. He went from 68 to 80. Like everybody knew he was going to be the guy.
I hear you, but hey, I think you got to watch Carney. We'll talk about next episode. I think you got to watch some Carney interviews, see what it's like, see his position.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'm just saying it seems crazy to have like a major switch amongst a lot of the population in Canada because it's just the prime minister. He doesn't have the same kind of executive powers.
The way I see it is, you want to fix our economy, Harvard-educated world economist versus a career politician. Give me the Harvard-educated, world-renowned economist over a career politician any day of the week.
That's why he doesn't have the executive power. Like you're still talking how many seats do you have?
What's the number?
400,
something
300,
something
300,
like
400. All right, so it's like the 200 liberals that are in power. It's not like just because this guy Carney comes around, like now all of a sudden,
that's some people
200 liberals change their mind about everything. Like
this is the thing. Some people vote just based on the leader of the party. Other people vote based on their MP. So it's kind of weird in Canada where some people will strictly vote where top ticket. It's just what it is. There's some people who will vote conservative because they like Pierre, who will vote liberal because they like Carney, and other people will vote based on their MP. They like their MP, but they might hate the party, but they'll still vote for their MP. I think fewer people do that in the States because there's some people in the States who vote different for their senator versus their president, right? But usually it's the same for some people, right? Some people. I think we have, and I mean, I think most people probably vote the same. And here, most people here vote on the top of the ticket. This is what it is. So you might see. That's what I'm saying.
In Canada, it's not really a top of the ticket. Like your prime minister, he's like,
whoever wins it.
What executive powers does the prime minister really have? I mean, he sets the agenda. He's like the Speaker of the House more than a president.
I mean,
right?
that's like the president of the Senate though too. The president can't really do much unless the Senate votes on the bill and gets passed and all that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's like it'd be to just put, if it seems like the whole, I don't know, I'm not up there, but it seems like there's kind of a stench on the whole Liberal Party that
it's still an uphill battle because a lot of people are still, we hate Trudeau, we hate the Liberals with this country. I voted conservative no matter what, but there's been a lot of people who, again, because again, the whole Pierre thing was. Pierre looked a lot great standing next to Trudeau, but everyone already knows if Pierre and Carney debate, Carney would wipe the floor with him. I'm talking Vivek versus Kamala. That's kind of
honestly, I'm trying to think about it. I don't think I've ever seen him.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week. But again, big curveball. This is not the easy shoe-in win that I expected for the Conservatives. If Carney wins, this would be the biggest political shocker ever.
He'll make a good governor of Canada.
I think he'll make a good prime minister, without a doubt. I think he'll make a really good prime minister.
When Canada's the 51st state.
Yeah, good joke. Canada's not for sale. I gotta get that hat. Shout out to one of our province's leader. I can't think of the name right now. Doug Ford. He got a Canada's not for sale hat. They used to call him the Trump of the North, but now he's got a Canada's not for sale hat. So, that's cute when Trump says he's trying to buy Canada. Not going to happen.
You might get Greenland, though.
Might get I did see that. You might get Greenland. That would be interesting.
People were laughing at that, but I think that might actually materialize.
Hey, before you add more land, you got to fix up some of the places within the country,
Not before you add Greenland. If we were adding Sweden or something, then you might have to think about it. But I mean, Greenland, there's like 600 people there.
I was gonna say, what's even in Greenland that's so important for a country?
The most important is just its geographical location. Honestly,
would you put a military base there? Is there? I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, if I were apparently there are some resources, but. I still believe a military position.
I still believe the U.S. has a nuclear weapons base in Canada somewhere. In case something goes wrong in the States, they need to launch it from somewhere else. They launch from Canada, their closest ally.
Nukes.
Oh, they claim we don't. I think America keeps some of their nukes here in case they're ever attacked and theirs get shut down in their country. They got to keep a secondary option to launch from somewhere else. Don't you think that'd be smart if you think about it? Military-wise, having it in your closest ally, who doesn't have nuclear capabilities on our own, because we don't spend that much money on our military. We actually take care of our people. We don't spend money on weapons.
Yeah, because we fucking protect you. If America wasn't here, then you'd have to be spending money on your military.
Yeah, no, that's very true. I mean, with the size of our country, we'd have to spend a crazy amount of money to really protect it from other people. And again, it is very, very profitable, prominent land. So it would definitely be valuable to a lot of countries.
Yeah, Greenland would basically just be the East Coast to Alaska. If we have Alaska and Greenland, that really opens up, a huge, worst case scenario. We're talking like World War III type stuff. Then Greenland would be a super valuable outpost. Plus, they're saying, with if the world is heating up a bit, it heats up on the pole like 10 times more than it does at the equator. So if the North Pole does melt and opens up shipping lanes through the North Pole, Greenland could be a super useful, profitable shipping post.
I can see that. No, you can definitely find ways to make Greenland, help America for sure. Let's say what are their big news politically, America? What they plan to do? Any wars on the horizon? America hasn't been in war in a few ever since the Afghan war ended. Have they? They haven't really been on a full-on scale war with troops on the ground.
No, we've been pretty peaceful. One of the executive orders was just to be clear, Ron is a pussy. Yeah. All right, just to be clear, Ron's a pussy. One of the executive orders was naming all the cartels terrorist organizations.
In Mexico?
In Mexico, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll probably all in South America, and naming them official terrorist organizations. And a reporter asked, "So, would you consider, invading other countries?"
What happened to all the money that was being spent on the Afghan war? Did they get repurposed, or did they just stop printing it? Were they just printing money to spend there?
What happened to it?
Yeah. Did they repurpose it?
No, I mean the money up in the fireplace.
The money that was spent, but I'm talking about like the money every month that was being used to fund that war. Is that now being used for something else? Could you shift that money to something, or were they printing money or borrowing money just to keep?
They're probably just printing money for that purpose. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I was wondering. Okay, because that was a big amount of money. Yeah, I was going to say it's been a little. The military-industrial complex, if you guys believe in that concept, has been a little quiet
again. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, this is gonna. Can he approach Reagan? I don't know, man. In terms of just greatness.
But hold on, Reagan was still a buddy of the military-industrial complex. I recall.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about. I'm just talking about in everything adding up the entire term, because can we. I'm one who, I'm down with shrinking the military budget. No president.
I'll get that.
No president in the neoliberal age has done it or been able to do it. But I think
Biden ended.
this
I don't think Biden gets
administration
enough
might.
credit. I don't think Biden gets enough credit for ending the Afghan war. Obviously, withdrawal was bad. That was problematic. You lost.
He didn't do anything.
But I mean, he ended the war. He stopped it.
He didn't. All the negotiations happened under Trump.
Hey, he pulled out. Biden could.
Yeah, horribly.
It was horrible, but they stopped. Look, I think if people understand the inner workings again of the military-industrial complex and how politics works, ending a war is crazy. I don't think people realize how bad it is.
Trump negotiated the end, and then Biden fucked up the retreat, like the most ridiculous strategic. Left like $200 billion in weapons over there.
I mean, hey, you're bound to. I mean, they were supposed to leave him to help Afghanistan sustain itself. That clearly didn't happen. I think that was the plan.
Oh my god, that was fucking so bad. Biden's foreign policy is real bad, and then like the Israel-Palestine thing, he's getting it from every direction.
Hey,
Everybody,
got the hostages free. Somehow people are giving Trump the
Trump did.
Stop it! Biden was president when it happened. We're not doing that. You can't just give him
even Biden's people. I've seen like 2 or 3 interviews of Biden's people like going on air and saying, "Look, I hate Trump. I'm not even a Trump person. I hate Trump." But Trump's guys came in and dude, nobody takes Biden seriously. And like at some point, the left is never going to give Trump credit for actually being taken seriously. The left's always going to go with this. Oh, the world laughs at Trump. Trump's a goofball. Trump doesn't get any respect. Trump gets respect from all these countries because he's a fucking wild card, and he'll pull shit that other presidents will not. He'll fucking tariff your ass. he'll blow your ass up. Like Putin, when Putin's talking to Trump, part of Putin's mind is thinking Trump will fucking push the red button. You know,
I see that, yeah.
Nobody's thinking that with Biden.
I can hear you on that. I can definitely hear you.
There was in the negotiations in Afghanistan, there was that one story of Trump was in a meeting with the leaders of the Taliban, and he walks in with a fucking dossier. He opens it up and drops in the middle of the table a picture of the guy's house. And he's like, I will fucking blow you up. Just like they asked him. Look, day one, he signs an executive order calling the cartels terrorist organizations, and then a reporter asks him, "Will you invade Mexico to go get these cartels?" And he's like, "I'm not saying." That's what he does on all this stuff. He won't. And then the left says he didn't. Just like all this, like, hey, Trump, are you going to go take back the Panama Canal? I'm not going to say I won't. They always ask him these questions. Will you confirm that you won't go to Panama and take it back? Nope. So he does this. He leaves everything on the table, which I think is brilliant. I think that's exactly what you do in foreign policy, at least when you're America.
It'll be interesting. How does America pulling off in the World Health Organization affect? I mean, I don't even think it affects America, does it?
Fuck yeah, dude! After the whole COVID thing,
I mean, so you're saying if they pull out of that, they don't have to follow the rules of the world. I mean, I don't think any country has to follow. I think even if you're part of it, it's still up to your discretion.
If you're part of an organization, you got to follow the rules. Just like I was
gonna say, it's like, come on, countries like America, China still can do their own thing, even if they're part of. Even if they're part of NATO, I mean, even if they're part of the UN, they do play by their own rules too, right? Or you could say the World Health. I do think America, China, Russia, some of these kind of superpowers, you could say, play by their own rules, even if they're part of these big organizations.
Fuck, if I were president, I'd pull out of every last one. I'd pull out of the UN.
Yeah, I mean, he discussed that last time too. That's what he actually discussed this time, right? I haven't heard pulling out of the. I've heard the World Health Organization, not the UN.
Not on day one, but we got 4 years to go. So
yeah, that's true. I'm sure Trump will keep pressure on it. He just wants that. I mean, I can respect that he wants other countries to pay their fair share. That's fairly reasonable, understandable. Seems like the right thing, of course. I want to say anything else big that Trump's kind of. I guess we'll see. Next week how these immigration raids take place. What comes?
Yeah, they said he's getting inaugurated on Monday, and then starting
Tuesday,
Tuesday morning. So
yeah, yep.
Tomorrow when the sun comes up, all the raids and everything, and we'll see how it's all reported. I mean, I'm sure. Can you talk about Trump raising the tariffs by 25% and how it impacts U.S. Canada imports?
He said that today.
Yeah, totally.
I think he said that today. I just don't know, again, if it will actually be implemented. There'll be a lot of backdoor negotiating, whatever the case may be.
I think it will. And
we've had Doug Ford here say we'll stop selling American alcohol, I think, or something like that. That was his kind of rebuttal. If that
Baba, here's the one thing you have to understand about the tariffs and trade wars, as far as I'm concerned. Like, America is holding all of the cards. We have a $25 trillion GDP. Canada and Mexico are in the range of 2 to 3. Canada and Mexico both Canada and Mexico, their imports into America amount to about a quarter of their GDP. America's imports into Canada and Mexico amount to less than 3% of our GDP. So imagine, like, if you think about the tariffs with 25% penalty on either side, just max it up, max it up to the total extreme. Imagine if we just had an embargo, right? Where like with Cuba, where America says, "Fuck it, we're not trading at all with Canada or Mexico," and then Mexico and Canada both say, "Okay, we're not trading at all with the U.S." So what if we just completely shut it down? Do you realize how the impact on Canada and Mexico would be so extreme compared to the impact on America? We would be losing roughly 3% of our GDP, where Canada and Mexico would each be losing like 25% of their GDP. So Trump is using these threats of tariffs and actual tariffs to get things done. He wants Mexico to quit letting fucking millions of people walk through Mexico into America. Like, Mexico is not a tiny country, Like most all of these immigrants, it's not like they just arrive at the US border. They arrive at the fucking Mexican southern border. And they go up all through Mexico.
And they know they see large caravans of people. Yeah, they know.
Yeah, if our news people have news cameras on these huge caravans, and like the Mexican government knows they're there, they're coming through their territory. So, he's like, we're gonna get Mexico shut down, and it looks like Mexico is starting to capitulate. Now, Mexico does have a new president who is a lefty. I don't know if how much of her you've seen.
Oh, no.
She's like
Are Mexico kind of elections fair and free
in Mexico?
Yeah,
I think as far as like the world, yes.
Okay.
So if you count every country in the world, it's probably not like
first world standard, not like Canada.
The freest, yeah.
Okay.
But she's like she has like a science background, and she basically came from a far left party and converted to the still left party, but a little more center left.
That's interesting, as the world takes more of seems like a right wing turn in a lot of countries. Mexico took a bit.
Yeah, exactly. So she's kind of on an island because, well, you're trying to say that the liberals will win in Canada, but I don't think so. I think they're probably turning right. A lot of people are turning right. But she was pretty defiant with Trump, like after the election when he first started talking about the tariffs. But I think, reality is setting in, and she's starting to capitulate. And she said that, Mexico is going to accept the deportees, not just from Mexico, but from every country. Because again, to be fair, like these aren't just all Mexican immigrants. They're people from every country coming up through Mexico.
The immigration topic is something I've seen in a lot of first world countries: France, Germany, Canada. Everyone's a lot of them. There's definitely a base that are sick and tired, or they feel like there's too many immigrants coming in without a doubt, and that's a big issue for sure.
Well, and Jalen's another one of those issues I'm saying that the left picked up like in the last 5 to 10 years that they thought would be, well, it's winning. It really rings within the left, but it's kind of okay. It's been like a decade of debate, and it seems like most countries are coming to a consensus that they like, hey, you have a right to fucking not just let
you can't overflood it. You can't
run into your country. And I don't understand why people don't understand. Like, look, I'm an American. If for whatever reason, if like all of a sudden, if like millions of white, unemployed Americans started flooding into Egypt.
Yeah, or just like a million white people from, let's say, New Zealand or Australia come to America, it'd be a problem without a doubt. The economy can't just
they came to America, but like if a bunch of white Americans started flooding into Egypt or Lebanon or France or something, I'm like of course you got a right to say like no, what are you doing? You can't just. It's so weird because like I just kind of assume I don't assume that I have the freedom to like pack my bags and just become French tomorrow. And like, hey, if the things aren't working out here, I'm just gonna fly over to France and assume that the French government is gonna welcome me with open arms and like give me free tuition to French college and give me like French welfare. Like, it's another country.
I hear you.
So America deserves the same respect as every country. And the left trying to tie it into being like Hitler-esque. I mean, that's fucked up. There's a big difference between saying, "Hey, like, don't just come into the country." And,
we left got to stop. I mean, you can find flaws in ways some of the right wing talk heads talk about it, like the Ann Coulters of the world. Very radical in it. You can find problematic in that. But yeah, bringing Hitler into everything is a little much. And just like what they try, I mean, I think people, I don't think this is on the left. This is the people on the right. It's interesting to be like, look at Elon doing a Hitler salute. I'm like, stop it, guys. He was just like, thank you with the heart.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, come on. Like, what are we doing? Come on.
Well, do you remember, like 3 or 4 years ago, the left was trying to say that the OK symbol was like white supremacy. Like,
shout
the OK.
Shout
Illuminati.
Illuminati, if you're watching, I'm trying to join. Please. I'm trying to join the Illuminati.
One eye.
Hit me up.
Yeah.
Hit me up. Illuminati, hit me up. I'm trying to join.
Freemasons. There's actually there's a Freemason lodge like a mile away from me. I was thinking about.
All right, go join. Get yourself.
Go become a Freemason. See what's really going on over there. I think it's just like businessmen sitting around playing chess, But like,
become a Freemason for the 100 million. That's what I said.
Do they have a dungeon down there with fucking?
I don't know. It's like, hey, they're gonna tell you, be like, hey, we got a seat on the board of some multi-billion-dollar company. It's yours. All you got to do is sacrifice somebody you love.
Well, back in the day, that was like the super networking of its time. Be a Freemason. Yeah. That was like the ultimate LinkedIn.
Right? It's always crazy when you see all these like former presidents and people in high political power, how they all come from a group that seems to be linked to their Freemasons or some club in school, right? Like the Yale is like both something like there's a club in Yale, Harvard, all that.
Like I think all like the first 10 or 12 presidents were all Freemasons. But I mean I'm into conspiracies, so like I've read up on the Illuminati and the Freemasons and stuff a bit, and it seems fairly, like I mean, sure. I think with any big organization like that, especially in the past, there going to be some like kookballs here and there that do some weird stuff, but for the most part, I think it was pretty much just like. There was like a meeting group coming out of the Enlightenment, kind of built around rationality. And
there was a famous YouTuber that said he had a friend approach, like, who was trying to be a singer, this and that, trying to be a pop star. And it's basically just like, hey, a guy came, knocked on our door from company, talked and be like, we'll make you world pop star. You have to pick someone to sacrifice. Like, that's a legit thing, like he said. I'm like, whoa.
Okay. Yeah, like, really?
Right.
Maybe. Now, Scientology, now that's some crazy shit.
That Tom Cruise. Right? Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Tom Cruise, the Scientologist, that's insane. But maybe the Freemasons and Illuminati are insane. When you really, really...
I'm sure, they hang
unpeel.
out together. Yeah. They definitely...
I think for the most part, it's like people playing bridge and talking about stock portfolios.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of the Rockefeller family. I do think people who owned banks wield a lot of power amongst even the rich, famous, and politicians. I feel like if you own the banks, you have more power than I think. I would, yeah. You know what? I legitimately, yeah. And maybe tech company thing now is interesting, but you own banks. I think you have more power than 99% of politicians. And even the tech companies is interesting. I'm still going back for it, but the banks, I think you do. Because you fund a lot.
The tech guys are getting a ton of power.
I was gonna say the tech guys get a ton of, but the banks still hold. Because
I listened to just a couple nights ago. I listened to an interesting podcast with Ezra Klein.
Ezra Klein. No, let me see if I see him.
He's a columnist for the New York Times. He's a lefty, but he's like a rational lefty. And
intellectual
Hayes.
lefty.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
the intellectual lefties and intellectual righties are in their own space. I think they both have to be very rational. I think even the Ben Shapiro's of the world, intellectual righty, except for the whole Israel issue, he becomes emotional, which again, he is Jewish, so I understand. Other than that, he's pretty logically and kind of fact based and everything else. Yeah, and I'm with you though, and I guess this guy would fall in that category as a lefty intellectual.
Yeah, I mean, like there are a ton of people on the left that I could have a more, a rational conversation with than someone on the right who's like an idiot.
They need to become more prominent. I noticed more like when it comes to these online political figures, they're more clickbait, rage bait kind of guys, or just they have to say some more controversial stuff. Versus there's intellectual out there, but I understand because it is. Like boring. Something that watch like intellectual, it's like it is a hard watch unless you're really into it. Like you would enjoy it because you're a political junkie, but if you're not, like a non-political junkie who wants to watch politics, you'll be more inclined to watch a Tim Pool video or on the left you could say. I mean, Sam Sadar is kind of intelligent. I don't know. I'm trying to think of someone on the left who's more of a clickbait.
Sam Sadar. I feel like we're on the same page on a lot of stuff, and then you throw out shit like Sam Sadar or AOC, and I'm like, what the fuck? You seeing these people?
No. Sam Sadar's not like a full on intellectual, but it's not like a full on rage bait.
I feel like Sam Sadar is I think he's an intelligent person. I don't think is he rational? He's probably at least as rational as the average person, but I don't think he's one of the people. One of the major flaws I see in people when it comes to politics and stuff is: do you have an ability for empathy or not? Like, do you understand the opposition?
Yeah,
their actual motives or not? And Sam Sadar is one of these guys where it's like, well, if you're on the right, it's because you're racist, it's because you hate poor people, it's because
he does those buzzes.
A lot of people just think, well, if you disagree with me, it's because you're a bad person, because I'm a good person. So if you were a good person, you'd agree with me. And so because you don't agree with me, that means you're the bad person in this conversation. Sam Sadar is totally one of those.
I hear you. All right, chat. It was a fun little bit. You have anything else to add on, Pirate?
So it was a fantastic day. I maybe teared up a little bit with the God Bless America.
Was that Carrie Underwood had a little technical issue, but still a cappella killed it? Shout out
Yeah,
Keanu, he looked good.
and that's one way you know that a Republican won, because the audio went out and the crowds knew the lyrics to patriotic songs. If it was the Democrats, the crowds would not know the lyrics.
Now he hate. Carrie Underwood still look good though. Okay, shout out Carrie Underwood. You still look hot.
Yeah, she looked hot.
Yeah.
Shout out to Melania again, by far the hottest first lady in the history of America.
Is she?
Who else?
I'm trying to think.
Eleanor Roosevelt. Don't say fucking some.
I don't know. Technically, Marilyn Monroe was like a mistress first lady. I'm just saying, shout out.
Yeah, she was definitely the hottest side piece, presidential side.
Yeah, there you go. Right?
That I'm aware of. There might have been someone in the 18th.
I'm trying to think. Who was a hot wife?
Some people out there try to compare Michelle Obama to Melania Trump.
Shout out Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama.
Come on. Let's be
Michelle
real.
Obama may be the most brilliant first lady.
Come on, man. Michelle Obama gets so much smoke up her ass for oh my god.
Who's more talented than Barack? Okay, don't talk. If you think Melania Trump,
I think Melania is actually fairly intelligent. She doesn't speak English very well.
Yes,
she doesn't speak English very well.
She's not. Michelle
I've seen
Obama.
her speak in interviews. I mean, she's not a fucking rocket scientist.
She's not. Michelle Obama is probably the most well-spoken and intelligent first lady I've seen.
Oh my god, she just sounds like a fucking knockoff Barack.
Barack is a very intelligent.
She lives with Barack. She just says like a Barack imitation, and everyone thinks it's like.
And Barack Obama is the most well-spoken politician of the past 40 years, 50 years. There's no better.
Reagan fucking blows them.
See, but I think, Barack Obama's speech is clear. Reagan, it's not even close. People overrate Reagan.
No, you are so fucking wrong. Reagan has like a dozen speeches that clear anything.
There's not. Stop it. Obama wipes the floor.
All right, well, one of these next episodes, we'll have to go fucking speech for speech. I'll pick a Reagan speech.
Bloodbath. This.
Have you heard of A Time for Choosing?
This is LeBron James versus Rafael LaRusso. This is Michael Jordan versus Muggsy Bogues.
No.
What are we talking about? This is Akeem Olajuwon versus.
Barack was so big with his speaking. He was like inspirational. He was like inspirational in the way, like a life coach.
Stop it.
Barack Obama was like a life coach where Reagan was.
I've always said Reagan's
king, dropping the degrees.
Reagan, the one who created the pathway to America's financial crisis in 2008. His economic start as well.
Yeah, you said that before, and I disagree. I really think most of the
Reagan
crisis really did come up during the Bush. I think Bush. Bush had a real strong. His number one goal when he became president was he wanted to make it a homeowner society. He wanted
Did John Wayne ever run for president? Ever thought about it?
I don't think so. No, not in any serious way.
You think he would have won?
John Wayne?
Yeah.
Would he have beat like Kennedy or?
I don't think anyone was beating Kennedy.
Nixon. I mean, Kennedy just kind of sneaked in. He barely beat Nixon. I
feel like Kennedy is very fondly remembered by both sides. He's one of the few politicians that seems to be loved by both.
Yeah, he's definitely. I think Kennedy honestly does benefit. I mean, he didn't actually, but from being assassinated, his legacy. I feel like his legacy benefited from being assassinated because I've looked. His approval rating was actually dipping.
Okay,
when he got assassinated,
created a bit of a mythology to him for sure.
Yeah, if he had actually had a full 4 years, huh?
Didn't he have that famous speech where he called out the military-industrial complex and was the first one to do it?
No, that was Eisenhower.
Okay, so
and that's what I was thinking. I don't know if John Wayne ever would have won because I don't think he would have beaten Eisenhower. Everybody loves Ike.
Yeah,
He-
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower was a crazy popular president.
I feel like in a
So-
lot in a lot of like greatest president lists, he tends to be up there.
He was a great president. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's one where I don't know what I think the left probably just doesn't think about Eisenhower too much these days. But back in the day, he was one of those, like, both parties gave him the thumbs up.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
was he right, left wing? Or was he kind of down the middle?
He was a Republican, but he was, I'd say centerish. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
centerish.
Yeah.
He built all the highways.
Oh, he was the guy that built all the highways?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I actually want to say greatest American president. What list? Obviously, everybody has an opinion on it. So getting a
Yeah. And then they started doing things. Well, we're gonna gather a group of historians to make the list, but then it's always it tends to be either like leftist historians or.
Obviously, here's one.
historians on the right.
I guess just on Wiki Scholarly Survey, they use what, like 12 different organizations, 15, or maybe, oh my gosh, more. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it's like just like 30 or something.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if they're all from like fucking Berkeley, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know some of these C-SPAN, PHN, ASPA, Siena.
They were trying to push the biggest group of historians for the presidential list during Biden, and they had Biden up in like number 12 all time or something, and they had Trump like dead last. Like, come on,
I got George Washington. Everyone basically has him like 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah, Washington's hard to knock off. Then you got Lincoln.
Yeah.
Washington and Lincoln are kind of just like etched in there. But then you got other guys like a guy like Reagan. You know, some people will say top 5, and other people will say like bottom 5.
You know who I think generally is the best president to me? Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Wait,
no.
which Roosevelt?
Franklin Roosevelt.
No.
He's the best.
Oh.
Franklin D. Roosevelt.
But see, this is good. I mean, fundamentally, this is why you're like, you know, on the left. This is the kind of stuff that makes you, you know, on the left, and I'm on the.
He saved America.
What, World War II?
He saved America.
I think American generals saved us in World War II. Like, I think there are a lot of. If Eisenhower was president during World War II, he would have done a fantastic job.
The New Deal coalition, realigning American politics, fifth party system.
Some people on the right think FDR was one of the worst presidents ever, and I don't. I don't think he was one of the worst. I definitely don't think he was one of the best. I think in total he was somewhere in the middle. One thing I do have to give credit, or like being more right leaning.
Yeah.
I think some people on the right, especially like within libertarians, you know, in the world of libertarians, you can get people who are like lean virtually like an anarchist, you know, where it's like no government at all. I'm someone who you have to give some concessions, even if it's like not totally fundamentally fair or not. You have to give some concessions to social programs and a bit of redistribution just to kind of hold off the horde so that communism doesn't come around, you know.
Reagan, I see a lot of between I think his average score was like essentially 9 or 10.
Right.
He's there. The top 5 it seems to be universally as
Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah. Lincoln, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Washington,
FDR,
Roosevelt, and Thomas Jefferson. Truman is like the 6th, but those 5.
Truman was not. Truman was not.
I'm seeing a lot of 6, 7 for Truman.
Yeah, no, Eisenhower's way better than Truman.
Eisenhower. Where's Eisenhower?
Where's Eisenhower?
Oh wait, no, he's in that. Wait, he's in that similar 6, 7, 8. Okay, you know what? He might. Truman is like edging Eisenhower on that. Like Eisenhower's after Truman, so Eisenhower was like 7th, his average, and after that, they got Barack after that. Basically at 8.
Yeah, that's kind of silly. I mean,
Barack at 8. I mean, highest 7 as low as 15. average. He has a lot of 7 and 8s in there.
Lowest 15. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
The lowest 18. Sorry, lowest 18th. There's after they have
For
the lowest
Barack. I
for
mean,
Barack. I mean, I thought
Barack was a middling. I mean, he wasn't horrible,
he
but
saved America's economy when it was in the dumps. So I mean, you got to give him credit for that. I mean, I think the thing is, he was given an opportunity to kind of say, sometimes to be a good president, you have to come in when the country is in a rough spot. So when it comes up, it's on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
A lot of it depends on if you were the man suited for the time that you like Herbert Hoover. I don't know. He might have been. He came in at the wrong time.
Lyndon B. Johnson's after Barack, essentially.
That's ridiculous. That's absurd. So, but you can tell who made that list. I mean, that's a list made by people on the. Lyndon B. Johnson was so unpopular he didn't even run. He refused to. He turned down running because he wasn't going to win.
8, 9, 10. See,
he came out and had a speech about how like I'm stepping down because I know like nobody likes me, and then you're going to call him. Dude, Lyndon B. Johnson. Honestly, Lyndon B. Johnson is. I fucking hate.
I don't know. I don't know too much about him. That's the thing, so I can't really.
He gets so much credit for the civil rights when he was such a he was actually a virulently racist person, and he gets so much credit, and because he was a Democrat. Now history has given the Democrats all this credit for the civil rights, where nobody actually does it, but Jalen and whoever's watching, take some time, go look at the actual vote counts in the Senate and the Congress on every major civil rights legislation. A higher percentage of Republicans than Democrats voted on all of them.
There's also the great shift that occurred, or the great switch.
No, we can totally debunk that. No,
next episode. Next episode.
What year? What year did it happen?
I'm not sure. That's just, again, I'm talking about talking point. I'd have to look into more. Like I didn't.
It's a total talking. I've written essays on this, so yeah, we can.
And then I want to say in this list, when they take the average out of the top 10 presidents, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Democrats, 3 Republicans, a Democratic and Republican. Thomas Jefferson was both, I guess. And
he was a Democrat. Yeah, like George Washington didn't have a party, and, and Thomas Jefferson was.
Yeah, you could say they're independent. So like 5, 3, and 2.
Thomas Jefferson was so early that he was called a Democratic Republican, but that it's not like that wasn't like a half and half of our Democrats and Republicans.
You want to see the bottom 5? The bottom 5.
I'll tell you. Hold on. Let me see if I can guess. Woodrow Wilson.
Okay, yeah, he's a 5th worst. Oh no, wait, that's that.
Only 5th?
No. Woodrow Wilson is. Hold on. I don't.
Woodrow Wilson's got to be bottom 5. Andrew Jackson.
I don't even see him. Is it because go by another name?
No, Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow Wilson. Why don't I see him here? Woodrow Wilson. Did they not include him? Woodrow Wilson. Oh wait,
he's very popular for being in the bottom.
He's right below Joe Biden. He has people ranking him as high as. So he's at like 15.
No, that's insane. Whoever's doing that list is like completely just a Democrat ticking off. Looking through votes and ticking off every Democrat. Because
there's some people who have highs. Again, I'd have to read more about him. I mean,
what are you looking at? Multiple lists, dude. He's like bottom 5.
He's as high as 6th.
That's insane. That is insane. Anybody put Woodrow Wilson top 6.
Guess who he's ahead of?
I mean, if he's 6, he's ahead of most.
On average, he's right ahead of your boy Reagan. I knew it. Rick,
that's insane. Woodrow Wilson is
go back.
Most people who study president. Andrew Jackson.
Oh, hold on, wait. Andrew Jackson is Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson or Jackson?
Well, I was gonna say Johnson too.
Okay,
So
Andrew Jackson's not in the bottom 5.
Andrew, where they have Andrew Jackson?
Let me see. Andrew Jackson. Scroll up. Oh my God, I'm gonna keep scrolling. Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson. Oh, he's like bottom. He's right ahead of Jimmy Carter. But he's like
Jimmy. Where is Jimmy Carter?
Jimmy Carter's right behind Andrew Jackson. Jimmy Carter's average is like 24.
That's insane.
Maybe 26, something like that.
That is insane. Okay, that's
I'm looking at average of polls. We're looking at average polls. So
yeah, dude. But yeah, you're looking at an average of polls where it's like, I'm getting most of those polls are done by Democrats, modern Democrats.
I don't know. Some of these polls
that's insane. Woodrow Wilson and Jimmy Carter.
There's actually
okay. Well, you know what? Going off these polls, I'm guessing that they probably got Trump and Nixon in the bottom 5.
Trump was last just because I think he doesn't have enough time.
Last, right? That's ridiculous.
He's last, right?
Dude, that is so even if you're like a total partisan, like, dude, that Trump derangement syndrome is so sick to like think he's the worst president of all time. That's insane.
Yeah, no, I mean the last thing is like he's not completed yet. I think, like to me right now, I would rank him last because he's still in his job. You know what I mean?
He's been president more than JFK was at this point.
That's true. That's true. Hey, I get. You know what? COVID hurt him. He lost how many?
There are plenty of one-term presidents who left in disgrace.
When Trump left, the economy was terrible. Jobs were lost. It was locked down.
Dude, oh my God, yeah, and that's his fault.
Wait, you're the president. Why did he put the country on lockdown?
Dude, Biden really put it on lockdown.
No, but sure. But why did Trump do it?
He didn't put the country on lockdown. Not like Biden.
Hold on. He was supporting the mask. He was supporting business being shut down. He could have easily just set an order. He could have put an executive order out there.
No. He was. I mean, he started fucking work on the vaccine, but the country wasn't shut down like it was under Biden.
Jobs were lost. Why were so many jobs lost under Trump?
This country was shut down.
Hey, why was it shut down? Because got you there. Oh man. It was obviously
that was like a no-win. I honestly, if COVID hadn't happened, he would have been reelected.
I think that too.
If there was no COVID,
yeah, without the context of COVID, you could look at that Trump presidency as being really bad. If you look at the economy and the jobs lost, look at those base numbers without the context. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Just looking at the numbers.
Well, no, exactly, and that's why I fucking hate the Democratic politicians who still use this talking point, like most jobs created in history. Most jobs created in history.
They're technically right.
Trump lost more jobs. Like, god damn, we're just gonna overlook that there was like this like self-made fucking.
you know politics. That's how it goes. The most jobs created ever for Biden. Shout out Biden for that.
But it's like, who are you talking to? I mean, honestly, that's why you get your just desserts. You try to run that bullshit past the population, and it's like, hey, we were there. It was just a couple of years. Like, thankfully, enough people in America were like, wait a minute, hold on. You mean during COVID?
The second worst is James Buchanan.
Yeah.
He was. I mean, I think he's kind of known. Got to go. Andrew Johnson, third worst. Franklin Pierce.
Is Nixon in there?
Franklin Pierce is fourth worst. Well, a lot of black and white photos for the bottom ones. William Harvey Harrison.
Harris. What I know about Harrison is that he basically had no business in politics whatsoever, and he was one of the first presidents to actually become president, kind of through advertising, and just like he was like an everyman. I don't think he held any political office before being president. I think he was just in the army.
Gotcha. And then Warren G. Harding.
Yeah, and Harding.
Terrible one. And then Millard Fillmore, Zachary Taylor. A lot of black and white presidents.
Like so no Nixon.
Nixon.
Or did you say Nixon?
No. Nixon is like the. Let me see where you're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's the 11th worst.
Nixon was actually super popular before the whole Watergate thing. It's so funny. He didn't even need to do that. It's one of the biggest unforced errors.
One mistake changes the whole. It's one thing can change the whole interpretation of.
Yeah,
how people.
But a mistake that's totally unnecessary. Fucking throw it all away.
All right, guys. I gotta go to sleep. It is 2 a.m. out here. Any parting words to the people, Pirate?
God bless America.
God bless.
Get ready for a big 4 years. I'm
rooting for Trump. I hope he does well. We'll see.
Hopefully. Yeah, I mean, you hope that every president.
Yeah, exactly. You hope, and I think for a time period that did stop, especially after 2008. I think people started rooting against the president, which is so weird. I think before that, it was very, right or left. You want him to do well. All right, chat. We will see you next time, real soon. Hopefully, Big Ox and the rest of the guys can pop in then. We'll see you guys.
Get your Obama speech ready because you're gonna have some stiff competition.
I'm sure Obama's chilling in some $5-10 million mansion somewhere. I don't know. Wonder how much his house is worth these days.
On the beach too. Yeah. With all that global warming, he doesn't. he's still got beachside property. So
while they all fly in private jets, it is what it is. Hey, no beachside properties in California. It seems like. Shout out California wildfires. Hopefully, all people lost their lives. Rest in peace. They'll build back. I think they'll build. It'll take a long time though.
I haven't seen a death count. Have you?
No, I have. It seems like a lot.
I don't think many people actually
died. Yeah, the evacuation was done well enough where people didn't die. It's just the destruction of the homes. And I do know a lot of people have this idea of the California homes there. Yes, there were a lot of very wealthy Hollywood people there, with millions of dollars. There are also people there who got their homes a long time ago, passed down family, who are still just not necessarily middle class, but not ultra wealthy. Like right, and they lost homes. They don't have money to build it back. Like they don't have that type of money, right? So
no, that's real common up here in Northern California too. The neighborhoods get expensive, and I mean, it gets to be like where now you can't buy a house for $1 million, but back in the 70s it cost like $20,000. And even for $1 million, you'll get like a rundown shack. So yeah, a lot of the people are just like
it sounds like
they're not super rich. They just
for $1 million you get a 600 square feet shoebox in a condo, or for a house it's like just a rundown, broken down.
But at the same time, you can say it's better than if you do happen to own a house that's worth $1 million and it burns down and insurance company drops $1 million in your hand. That's a lot better off than some guy renting an apartment.
that is true. But hey, it looks like a lot of those houses didn't have insurance. That's the problem too. They pulled out. It's tough. If you don't have insurance and you lose your house, you got to start over.
Dude, and a lot of the insurance companies are just pulling out of California for like everything, not just fire insurance, but like auto insurance. Like a lot of the big companies like Geico and Progressive and stuff. They're
the thing I think countries have to fix. If I own a home, right, I'm paying house insurance for, let's say, 10, 12 years, 15 years. And then they just randomly say, we don't offer anymore. What happened to the 15 years that I paid for? To me, that's just the craziest thing. They have to, if you're just going to pull out or you're going to take away, there has to be something given back to the consumer.
Well, you were insured for those.
Yeah, you were, but it's like if nothing happens, this is how insurance. Hey, man, what's the guy?
Yeah, I think it's fine and fair because think about it. Still, if you paid insurance for 15 years,
where's Luigi?
And then you stopped paying.
Free Luigi. Send him to the insurance company CEOs. Send him to him. We out chat. Free Luigi. Send it to him, man. Send it to him.